Oh, hello. Day two, some more discussion and chat about the EU referendum. And I've been mulling over for some time about what on earth is going on. I have never come across such unbelievable campaigning as what we are witnessing over the last 2-3 weeks. Now, I've been involved and followed and been active with elections of all kinds since the mid-60s. But I've never come across such misleading campaigning, exaggerated statements, false statements, untruths in fact, stretching facts to a limit that is quite ridiculous. It is totally unacceptable. Now, 80-85% and more of that comes via the Leave campaign people. Namely, Gove is a bad one actually on that list. Gove, Boris, Farage. And no wonder it has exasperated John Major, Heseltine, Chris Patten, who have been very, very condemnatory of the antics of these people. Because, quite honestly, they just peddle constant untruths. And they've been told about it endlessly. There are various online organisations you can look into, be it BBC, ITV, Channel 4, In Facts, British Influence, on and on and on, who fact check what is being said. And yes, there have been, I think, about 8 or 9 examples where the Remain campaign have been found to have exaggerated, but the vast, vast majority have been down to what the Leave EU campaign have been doing. So it comes down to trust. Who do you believe? Who do you think is actually telling you the truth? Leave the external people, leave all the experts, all the economists, the World Bank, Governor of the Bank of England, the IMF, the Treasury person in America, various prime ministers, leave all those behind. You know full well that there's only 3 people that are supporting the Leave campaign, 4 maybe, of international known: Putin, the North Korean leader, Trump, and Marine Le Pen. Now, everyone else, Commonwealth leaders, India, Australia, New Zealand, American president, European leaders, everybody else is telling us it's going to be difficult. But everybody in the Leave campaign says don't listen to any of them. They don't know what they're saying. They're more often wrong than right. Anyway, so it is about trust. So let's consider what's been going on. Remember last year, Nigel Farage said that if he didn't win his by-election, he would finish as leader, he would resign. And he went on to say, I am a man of my word. That's exactly what he said, I'm a man of my word. Well, the man of his word lasted, I doubt if it lasted a day. He changed his mind. And is still leader today. And the person who he said, Susan Evans, who would have been a good leader instead of him, with all her contribution over the years, he sacked her. Not only sacked her, she's now no longer a member of the party, kicked her out. Then we have Boris. Now, Boris is quite a unique character, we've all got to say that. In December, I won't lead the fight to quit the EU. That's what he said in December. I'm not having any part of this lot. I won't be leading it. And on top of that, he also said this: it is true that the single market is of considerable value to many UK companies and consumers, and that leaving would cause at least some business uncertainty, while embroiling the government for several years in a fiddly process of negotiating new arrangements, so diverting energy from the real problems facing this country. So what on earth has changed, Boris, in a couple of months? Because by February, changed his mind. He's now raring to go, criticising the single market, criticising the EU, raising all sorts of bogies, and his latest one is Turkey, and the fear that that is creating. Turkey won't join, or maybe not allowed to join, for at least another 10 years. And by the way, each country of the EU will have to approve their membership. One country objecting and they can't join. And their human rights record is so bad, amongst other things, I just don't see it happen. But go back a few years, there was a conservative Friends of Turkey advocating that Turkey should be considered and open negotiations with them to join the EU. Who do you reckon was one of the leaders of that group? Yeah, you got it. Boris. He and about 6 or 7 of the Leave EU MEPs and MPs, including Douglas Carswell, the UKIP leader. Now, I don't know, a word comes to mind about all this lot. Is it hypocrisy? Or what? I don't know. But then you come to Michael Gove, Justice Secretary. Now, the guy who's supposed to be above reproach, the guy who administers the legal system of Britain, you'd expect him to be always as truthful as possible. Whereas, in fact, on all analyses, the one who is misleading the most is Michael Gove, and he's the Justice Secretary. And he repeats so often that we give Europe £350 million a week. It's nothing of the kind. After the rebate, after receiving a lot of other sorts of monies back from Brussels, via farming, via regional development, via infrastructure, via science and education support to private sector, and on and on and on, it comes down to maybe £130 million a week, if that. But anyway, let's accept that Michael says we could save £8 billion a year if we were not in. And he claims the IFS supports him. Well, the IFS have said, no, we don't support him, and have made it quite clear to him. In fact, their judgment is that we will lose by going out to the tune of maybe 20 to 40 billion a year. So the 8 billion will disappear in the loss in trade, the decline in the economy, and on and on and on. But let's take it that the 8 billion is accepted. And he's going to spend it on health. Well, I have a list here somewhere. Here it is. This is not just on health. They're going to spend also on new schools. They're going to spend on new roads, reducing the deficit, lowering taxes, subsidising businesses to cope with tariffs, reducing council tax, paying state aid to the steel industry, new submarines, and on and on. And it's a figure of 111 billion, 10 times more than the 8 billion he says they'll be saving a year. So how absurd, how can you believe a man when he says this is what we'll spend it all on, but it's 10 times more. It is absolutely, totally unacceptable. So, tomorrow or the day afterwards, I'll go into more detail about the monies and about the economy and about our trading arrangements. But just to finish off with one thing. Whatever the figures, whoever you believe, the amount we give to Brussels, if that's what it is not 1%, not 1% of the money the government spends in Britain. It's less than 1%. And if you want to put it in terms of taxation, I have another little chart here. Whether it'll come up on the screen, I don't know. This is a breakdown of an average person's tax and national insurance. Some £5,000–6,000 a year. On welfare, your tax, 1,500 is on welfare. 1.2 on health. £1,000 of it on pensions. £800 on education. Down and down and down. The bottom two, at the very bottom, contributions to the EU budget, £59. Some people have estimated it as less than that. So out of your tax and national insurance payments every year, your contribution is £59. There's only one thing lower than it, which is overseas aid, £37. You know, we've got to get all this into perspective. We've really got to get our act together. This is serious business we're about here. And it is high time that the truth is realised, the facts are accepted, and that we know that leaving is such a leap in the dark. It is such a leap into the unknown. It is full of uncertainties. But one thing is certain. However bad it will be, it won't be easy outside. There is no question at all about that. See you tomorrow.